Hi subscribers and welcome back to the channel. My name is Dominic James Murray, CEO and founder here at Cameron James. So today we will be discussing, it's my pension, why is a final salary pension transfer so expensive? This is a direct question we've had from a client in a follow-up to one of our other videos. So first of all, just to unpack this video and what you're going to be receiving. So a little bit of background as to what final salary pension transfers are, and effectively we're going to dive straight into why they are expensive. I'm going to try to keep this a short video today. Okay, so defined benefit pension transfer, safeguarded benefits from a UK DB final salary scheme. These are safeguarded indexation, revaluation, effectively protecting you against the future purchasing power of your money and ensuring that it's not eroded by inflation. Very good from the UK ceding scheme, and you're pretty lucky to have one of these schemes from the 70s, 80s, 90s or noughties. However, a lot of people do want to transfer out of these final salary schemes, and this has created a bit of tension between the FCA and financial advisors and people being taken advantage of because they're getting rid of these safeguarded benefits. In my own personal opinion, I also think there's a lot of lobbying which goes on from these pension schemes to the UK government because they are losing billions and billions and billions in transfers, and they don't like losing their assets under management. So anyway, back to the point. Why are they so expensive? Well, basically, with all this regulation which has been in place by the FCA, our process has now become extremely complicated. We also take on a high amount of risk with our PI insurance every single time we complete a DB pension transfer. We have to make sure that we nail it in terms of the paperwork. We get it correct, we ensure the client understands everything and no one is misadvised, because this could come back and could create some potential liabilities from an insurance perspective. So that's kind of what's happened in the background. So what does this mean for you as a client? Well, 5 years ago, if you came to me and said, well, actually 6 years ago, it's 2015 they introduced the rule. If you came to me 7 years ago, 6 years and said, Dominic, I want to transfer my pension, no problem. It would be like transferring a DC scheme. We would go for a full KYC due diligence process, fact find, proof of address, proof of identity. We check who you are. We give you a suitability advice for transferring your DB pension, and you would transfer it. In 2015, the UK government said, well, FCA and TPO said, no, we've had enough of this. People have to take regulated financial planning advice for their DB pension transfer from a PTS specialist. Now, even to become a PTS specialist, you have to sit the examination, as I have done, and you have to have the RDR level 4 underlying qualifications. Doing this is pretty expensive, and it's also pretty time consuming. You can't just read the book in a day and pass the exam. You really have to engulf it and really get into the topic in order to be able to even be a PTS in the first place. So that's a small part of some of the work that goes into it. But what happens now is effectively, if you come to us with a DB pension transfer, hi Dominic, I want to transfer it. It's a long, elongated process. There's no other way to say it. The minimum time we could probably get a transfer done, if everything went like clockwork, you signed the paperwork, we sent it off to the scheme, there was no big considerations from them, they transferred it straight away. The very fastest you're looking, I think the fastest we've ever done is 5 or 6 weeks. But on average, you're looking anywhere between 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, possibly even up to 6 months. The reason it can take up to 6 months is that your UK ceding scheme are completely and utterly scared to complete any transfer which might come back on them as have been wrong. So they do a huge amount of due diligence. Some UK ceding schemes even write to HMRC and say, HMRC, I would like confirmation from you that XYZ SIT is registered with you on HMRC, even though it's on the website. Even though the company is on the HMRC, they want confirmation from HMRC to confirm to them that they can't get in trouble by transferring it to this SIP. So along this process, effectively, it's our job and our administration's team job to keep pushing in the background. We have a dedicated chasing team at Cameron James of 5 staff who call the UK ceding schemes on a daily basis from 9 to 5. It is just their sole job to call these UK ceding schemes because they are monolithic. They are extremely slow and they are extremely inefficient. So what happens is, over the course of these 3 to 6 months, it's not as if we just sign the paperwork and then the transfer gets done. It would take even longer if we didn't do all the chasing and follow up in the background. Very often the financial advisor has to get involved, has to tell the UK ceding scheme, you've taken 4 weeks to process one piece of paperwork, this is falling below a service levels, we may potentially report you to the TPO for not doing things correctly. So a huge amount of work goes into it. It's just a very, very long process. So this is why you can't get cheap final salary pension transfer advice. And if you can get cheap final salary pension transfer advice, I would advise you to go elsewhere. It's a little bit like if you're building a conservatory at home and somebody said to you, I'll do it for 500 quid, and someone said to you, I'll do it for £10,000, you would probably be extremely worried about letting someone come into your house and build a conservatory for 500 quid, because how on earth are they going to get it done? Whilst things like pensions, clients are not so aware, and they think, well, if they get it done, they get it done. But that's not really the case. If you're only paying someone, well, no one does it for 500 quid, it's a bit of an exaggeration, but if you're paying a very, very low advice fee to a financial advisor, the reality is they can't work for free. There's no free lunch in financial services. They will be getting paid from someone else. They will be getting paid from the platform they put you with, the underlying funds, structured notes, anything they use, which effectively pays a commission from the plan to the financial advisor without your knowledge. Now, in the UK, this is almost, I say almost, it does still happen, it's almost impossible. However, outside of the UK, I'm afraid it's pretty much still the Wild West of advice. Obviously, in very regulated countries such as Singapore, Hong Kong, etc., you might not have this happen, but in Europe and America, commission, trail, exit penalty funds are still completely wide scale. Here at Cameron James, we have never used any of those products at Cameron James, and we ensure that our clients are the only ones who employ us. This means that we have no bias in any of the information or recommendations which we make. So I hope that gives you a bit of an understanding as to why final salary pension transfers are so expensive. But I always just say to you that your DB pension asset is probably one of the most valuable assets you have. Are you really bothered about whether you pay 1% or 1.5% or 2%? What's important is the quality of advice. And we see this time and time again. People are saying to me on the phone, yeah, but Dominic, I was chatting to XYZ. Obviously, I would never say another advisory firm's name. I know these firms. I know what they have to do to cut the corners in order to make a cheaper transfer process. So clients often don't compare like for like, and they're just saying, oh, I have a cost here, it's cheaper, I'm gonna pay that. If you're buying a Samsung wide-inch TV, yeah, it is. If it's whatever model XYZ, it's fine. If it's on Amazon for 500 quid and it's in the shop for 700 quid, you get a bargain on Amazon. But financial services and pension transfers doesn't work like that. And what you have to understand as well is that no matter how much reading you do, no matter how much due diligence you do, you will never understand a final salary pension transfer more than your financial advisor does. And this creates an element of risk, because they could do things inside your scheme or inside your SIT, wherever you place it, that you wouldn't be aware of how they're being paid the money, because not everyone has to declare those commissions to their clients. So stay safe with your pension, guys. I really look forward to any comments you've got below. Let me know your thoughts on feelings. Have you ever been ripped off? What's the best fees you've ever had? What's the worst fees you've ever had? Let us know, and I'm happy to have a conversation to let you know our thoughts. And obviously, as always, head over to the website or book yourself below. You can have a free initial Zoom consultation with us to understand your situation in more detail and outline every part of the process before you decide if you wish to move ahead with us or not. Thank you very much, guys. Look forward to speaking with you soon, and take care.